Welcome to Age Old Problems, New Aged Care, a podcast by Helping Hand that offers information and advice to help you find and access the right aged care services. This podcast was recorded on Ghanaland. Hello, I'm your host Kate Holland. Welcome to another episode of Age Old Problems, New Aged Care. Today we're talking Respite, and I have two wonderful guests joining me to discuss why you might seek out Respite services and how to go about it. Lisa Brewer, who works in admissions and customer service for Helping Hand, and Kerry Carlson, who is resident liaison coordinator in North Adelaide and also lifestyle assistant. Thanks to both of you for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just thinking, in case people have not even heard of respite before, the word's definition gives a little bit of a clue, really. It's a short period of rest or relief from something difficult. Do you think that sums it up?
Yes, that would be exactly right. We classify respite as more for the carer than the actual customer that comes in. So that's a pretty good summation of it.
I thought too, and I know it has the potential to sound a bit like an ad, but we've got a testimonial which is sort of the perfect way to highlight the benefits of respite. So I thought I'd read that out to you both. So it comes from Ali, who is a carer who has accessed respite care for her mother. I have been my mum's main carer over the last 5 years. Throughout these years, I've had some challenging medical conditions requiring a few surgeries and recoveries. Helping Hand has been an absolute lifesaver, not only for myself, but also for my mum. Knowing mum would be well cared for in a safe, happy environment meant the world to me. If considering options for alternative care arrangements for a loved one's care, whether it's to give yourself a well-deserved break, a holiday, or requiring care for your own well-being, I would absolutely recommend Helping Hand Respite. Mum has spent time in 4 of Helping Hand's respite facilities over the last 5 years, with all of the locations being excellent experiences for mum and myself. The staff are caring, compassionate, and helped mum settle in quickly. Mum always felt safe and well looked after. When there was a need of medical assistance, she was given appropriate treatment. Must make you feel pretty proud of your services hearing that.
Yes, definitely. It's also a wonderful way for families to try out aged care when that transition from respite to permanent, for example. If you're going in on respite, you get a chance to meet the staff, find out if you like the facility. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and as Lisa said, it's good for the carers and the families to have that break as well.
So Lisa, you deal with pre-admission, so perhaps we can start with you as we delve into some of the nuts and bolts of getting respite. You assist with the applications and the questions ahead of someone checking in, is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So the first initial inquiry, whether it be an online submission, so you can actually go onto our website and make an inquiry about respite, and I'll then pick it up from there, or my work colleague, and we'll make contact with the person who's made the inquiry and explain the whole process from there.
And can you describe what exactly is residential respite care?
So residential respite care is having respite within a nursing home or a care facility. There is some processes that have to be done first, and you need to have My Aged Care approval for residential respite in order to come in and receive that service.
And how long could a respite placement be?
At Helping Hand, we take a minimum booking of 2 weeks. We don't have anyone come in any shorter than that stay, but it can be longer. A person is actually eligible under their My Aged Care plan for up to 63 days of respite in a financial year.
And do all Helping Hand residential care homes have respite rooms?
Yes, we do, except for 2 of our country facilities, but we are able to receive respite in all of them, but we have dedicated rooms in all of our metropolitan and also at Whyalla and Port Kerry. And those rooms are booked in advance. We kind of describe it a bit like a motel system where you make a booking. We're running it off a calendar so we can look up when the next vacancy is and book the person in from that time on.
And now you mentioned My Aged Care, so who can be eligible for residential respite, and is the process that they start with My Aged Care and take it from there?
Yes, it is. So anybody who's over the age of 65, I think there is some criteria that you can be under that age, but it's a medical-based thing. And once you've been approved by My Aged Care, and it's a process of getting the home care package and residential respite and also permanent care approval, anybody, I think, just makes an application through their website or discussing it with their doctor.
Sometimes there can be confusion around why people might access respite. Can you explain some of the different reasons that people might apply for a respite break?
Yes, certainly. We get referrals from all different areas, hospital-based referrals where somebody's in hospital, their care has come to the point where they're ready for discharge but maybe not well enough to return home. Respite is suitable for that sort of thing. Families going on holidays where they're wanting to make sure their mum, dad or loved one is safe. They may even be living independently in their own home with some home care support, but the family's a little bit worried that, if something happens in the night, what will happen to mum or dad. So Respite is good for that sort of thing. And also, as Kerry has explained, some families like to trial the Respite. It's a good try before you buy, where you can find out what happens in a care facility, but not staying there permanently. You can return home.
So when people are coming and accessing Respite for the first time, are there some common questions that they like to ask you to get their heads around how it might work?
Yes, the first things are, is mum going to be in a room by themselves, or can they join in all the activities? Will they be getting medical care? Is there a nurse available? Cost comes into it because there is a cost involved in respite care. It is government partially supported, but there is a cost involved. And what can they bring? Can they bring, things from home? All of those sort of things.
And no question's a silly question, is it? You're happy to answer all those questions for people?
Absolutely, yes. And we try to put people at ease by saying that, and look, feel free to ring back, because it's a very daunting process and a lot of people feel very guilty about putting somebody in respite, especially if it's a partner that they've always said, I'm never going to put you in a home, and then suddenly the circumstances change, or they're having care or burnout and doctors recommended you have a break, those sort of things. So, we try and put people at ease with all those.
I guess given people feel quite guilty at times, part of your role is to help put them at ease about that decision and comfort them that this is an important thing for them to do, both for themselves and for their partners or their family.
Yes, that is the key factor, I think, is encouraging the person who's making the inquiry, whether it be the husband, the wife or the family member, to not feel guilty about it and remember that their health and well-being is the most important, because without them being well, and be that physically or mentally, they can't continue that carer role.
So this is an opportune time also for you to maybe share some feedback that you get, because, at one end people are feeling guilty about putting people in, but you've told me already that you also get some wonderful feedback about people's experience once they have been using Respite.
Yes, we do, which is the great part about it. We often get what we call the frequent flyers who keep coming back, booking it again and again because, mum or dad's had such a wonderful experience. But I can remember one vivid conversation I had with somebody, and she could not believe the change in her mother. Her mother had been at home, very withdrawn, not wanting to participate in anything, not eating much, all of that. She was terribly worried, but she wanted to go to Melbourne to look after her grandchild. And she put her mum in, and she rang when she got back and said, I cannot believe the change in my mum. She eats food I've never been able to get her to eat. She's smiling all the time. So they're the things that I think help encourage families to know that it's not that scary or bad experience that they perceive it may be.
Now, Kerry, as Resident Liaison Coordinator, you come to the fore from the point of admission, so helping to welcome and settle the guest in for the duration of their stay. Is that right?
That's right, yep. So
tell me a little bit about your role.
So I will be the first person that they meet in reception, and depending on if they've come from hospital or home, sometimes if the resident's been in hospital, they don't do the initial tour. So I'll ask them if they're feeling up to it. I'll take them for a little brief tour and show them the facility on the way through, show them where the cafe is, the salon, and then take them up to the room, settle them in, get them a tea or coffee, get them all settled, and then I sort of go through with the family and we work out things like laundry, and we go through just a little bit of that information, and then I have a bit of a chat, a little brief sort of information about what they like, if they want to come to activities, if they would like to be invited to church, and I'll just take a little brief summary to put in our assessments and then hand over to the clinical team, and then they'll come up and do all the medical side of things.
Providing information but also establishing a bit of a connection.
A connection, absolutely, and it's good. I've got the both roles. I do lifestyle assistant as well, so I get to see them through the activities as well and encourage them to come along.
Do Respite residents have access to all of the facilities and activities that are in the home?
Absolutely. So on day 2 they'll get a welcome pack from our lifestyle team, and that includes the monthly program showing them all the activities that we have on, and so yes, they're invited and encouraged to come to all of our activities. And they can access the cafe, the salon, everything that the permanent residents receive.
Now, I know Lisa obviously deals with some of the concerns and questions before people come in, but do you find that there are still some common concerns that come up when you're dealing with them on that day of arrival?
Some of them, when they're in the room, they might be worried. They'll look at the bed and say, oh, I'm worried about, my mum or dad falling out. So I'll just say, that's something you can speak to the nurse to. Any concerns that you've got, speak with the clinical nurse. They'll ask about food, what sort of food they're going to get. But as Lisa said, there's no sort of question that's not, we can answer and point them in the right direction if they've got any queries or concerns.
So the family sometimes has questions and concerns. What about the resident? Are they usually okay, or do they have some?
The residents are usually okay. I mean, sometimes there might be some that don't want to be there because they want to be home. But I sort of try and draw on, I had my personal experience with my mum when she went into care, and we did the respite as just go in, have a bit of a holiday and see what you like, see what you think of the place. And so I sort of bring that up sometimes and say, they liked, she didn't have to cook, she didn't have to do any washing, and I sort of try and put that sort of, treat it like a bit of a holiday. As Lisa said, we do have one particular frequent flyer who's here at the moment, and he's been here since 2021 several times, and he just loves being here. His family go on holidays and he comes in and has, his time with us, and he loves having the support and people to look after him.
And you get positive feedback from the families as well?
Absolutely, and they're very happy with their stay. We had a gentleman leaving today. They said, wish we could live here.
Before we finish, Lisa, if there was somebody out there that was going to listen to this episode, what do you think would be the key piece of information about Respite that you'd want them to hear? What would you like them to take away?
Not to be scared about it, to make that initial inquiry. You're not bound to anything. You just give us a call. We're happy to help you with information. We can post things out to you. You can also have general tours of the facility, which we sort of advocate for a lot of people who are a little apprehensive. Bring mum. Put her in the car, say we're going out, we'll have a coffee in the cafe, we're going to have a general tour, show them the facility, and that really helps a lot of the time to ease their fears that it's not, 6 beds lined up, they've got lovely rooms, TV, en suites, able to go and have coffee in the cafe, have their hair done, all sorts of things that I don't think they quite realise until they get there.
That's a great suggestion. What about you, Kerry?
The same. I think seeing the room gives them that visual that they know that there's lots of room and lots of activities to do, and the fact that they're being looked after while you're away, it just takes that ease of mind, I suppose you would say, ease of mind, that your family member is being well looked after while you're away and you don't worry as much, especially the 24-hour care because it's overnight as well, so that takes that pressure off.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like you're both doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much for describing it for us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
For more information on Helping Hand and their services, please head to helpinghand.org.au or call Helping Hand directly on 1300 653 600. Please remember, you understand your needs better than anyone. Take the time to contact one of our friendly team to find out how we can help.